Ladies and gentlemen, in this video I will be going over the Meshmixer. It is a program that lets you modify STL files, combine two separate STL files. If you download something, let's say from My Mini Factory, from a third-party site, it lets you repair it. So it gives it a smoother finish with less problems, fills in all the holes, and it does a lot more stuff than that. And we're going to go over some of that stuff today. But first thing you need to do is, of course, you need to download the program. Where do you go? You go to meshmixer.com. Once you get to this page here, you will click on the download button up in the top corner right. If you have a Windows, go and click on this tab here. If you have a Mac, click on here. I'm currently using a Mac, so I will be clicking here. And go ahead and install everything. Okay? I've already downloaded, so I just canceled my download. Okay, once you go ahead and download everything, what you want to do is go ahead and open it up, and you will be greeted with this screen here. A few things before we get started, in case you guys might run into a little bit of troubleshooting or whatnot, but you can import your own files, or you can pick the bunny, which comes standard with it, the spear or the plane. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick the bunny for now. Okay, so notice I am able to move the bunny around, zoom in and out. Some of you might not be able to do that. The reason is because when you go to preference, you have Meshmixer selected, and once you have that selected, if I go and select that, notice it doesn't let me move anything around or zoom in and out. So if that is the case, go to Meshmixer, go to preference, click on Fusion, okay, 360. So when you hit done, it lets you move everything around, as you can see, in, out, all the way around. Okay, so another problem you might run into, let's say if you already have one item here and you're trying to import another item, make sure your flip ZY on import export is checked off, because if it's not, when you go ahead and import an image, let's just go ahead and delete this one and re-enter it in. Now once you check that box off, it saves it. It's like a one-time deal. So if I click on this bunny, well, the bunny's not doing it. Okay, so let's go ahead and just import something else. Okay, this is a vape station that I made for my brother. Now you notice this is not laying flat. This is laying vertical. Okay, the reason for that is because I did not have that part checked off. So if I go in here and go to preference, oops, sorry, wrong place. If I go to import and I check off the flip Z and Y on import export, and I add one in, let's go ahead and pick the same one again. Notice this time it's laying flat. Okay, so that might be a reason why you are getting that. All right, now back to the bunny. All right, so now we can move around. It's not gonna lay it vertical, it's gonna do it horizontal. You're good to go. I know different printers have different printing bed size, so one thing I do is I go to, again, preference. I'm gonna go to printers up here, and I'm gonna click on view properties. Once you do that, I just go down to sample printer, and I change all these out. Now I have a CR10 Creality, and the bed measures on that one 300 by 300 by 400. I like to keep the height a little bit lower because on some printers they say maximum 4. Some printers do it, some printers do 395, some do about 390. There's usually about a 10 discrepancy sometimes, and sometimes there's not. So I go ahead and do that. Now it tells me with that printer I can do ABS or I can do PLA. So with that, I'm just going to go and close it out. Those are some of the problems that you might run into with Meshmixer. when you initially open it and try to use it, it might not let you maneuver around or things like that. So anyways, continuing on, the number one reason I use this particular program, normally when I go to a third-party website like My Mini Factory or Thingiverse.com, I usually download STL file. So let me go and show you. So I just clicked on the plus sign and it's gonna let me import something, and I will import, I don't even know what this is, but I think it's Wreck-It Ralph. Let's take a look. Yep, it is. Sweet. Alright, so let's me import that, and then what I do just to repair it really quickly, I go to Analyze, Inspector. I just do minimum fill because I do all my settings in my Cura program, and you hit auto repair. That's it. Once I do that, I go down here, or you can go to File and Export. Save it to however you want. Let's call it one desktop. Now, the very important thing is the format you save it in. Please, please, please save it in the STL file, or you are going to kick yourself in the nuts later. I promise you that. So let's go and select that and hit save. So I've already saved this, all repaired, good to go. I'm just going to hit done here. So one thing I will show you real quick, if you go to edit and you go to transform, this is how you're going to move things around. Besides that, it'll let you change the angles of your view, but it won't let you move your objects around. So you have to go to edit, you have to go to transform. This will take it up, down, left, right. Now, if you notice here, when you click on it, it brings up like a little clock, little hands, lines, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now I'm inside of that line right now. So right now it's going to do increments of 1 if you're really good with your cursor and you can turn it around this way. But let's say if I want to go to 90 degrees. It's going to be very tough. You're not going to get it right. So one way to fix that is just move your cursor out, and you notice the little lines went away and it's a straight circle. What this does is it changes it in increments of 5. So you got 5, 10, 15. Oops, I came in too much. See how it changed? So I'm going to stay out of the circle and just keep going. I'm back in it again. And there's my 90 degrees right there. And if this is how I want to save it, I just hit accept. But in this case, I do not. So I'm just going to hit cancel. If you hold down the right trigger on your mouse, you can turn it around, take a look, see how everything is. The left trigger at this point really doesn't do anything unless you have transform selected, but you can zoom in and out. So based on the parameters I have set, this is the size of my printer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this bad boy over a little bit. I'm going to center him, and this little white box here, so I'm going to go over now. If you click on it, left click and hold, you can expand or shrink the size of your file. So let me go and bring this up halfway, and I'm going to make this pretty darn big. Now the reason I'm doing this is, if you notice, his feet are hanging below the bed. So if I was to save it like this, it would only print it from here to there. So sometimes you go online and you find files, they're pretty big. One way you can do is resize it, but let's say if you actually want that size, what do you do? Okay, that's very easy to fix in this one, and that's what I'm going to go over next. So I'm just going to accept this, save the changes. If you go to edit, cancel that. If you go to edit and you go to plane cut, okay, what that's going to do is bring up a little plane right here. So this is technically, think of this as your bed. So as of right now, it's telling me I'm going to print everything above this, but nothing below it. Okay, so what this is going to do is cut your cut your file in half at this point, and you can adjust it. You can go down, up, right, left, or again, you can angle it. So you can print that portion and cut this out, or print this portion and cut that out. Or the third option is you can keep both. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So you go to plane cut. It's going to bring the cut right there for you. Before this, I'm just going to make this a little smaller for viewing purposes. Okay, let's do that. But let's say your printer doesn't reach 400 and only reaches 200, so this is still going to be a problem for you. So we're going to go to Edit, Plane Cut, and I'm going to bring this down. Okay, and I'm just going to cut it straight in half. If you want, you can angle it however you want to do it. Now, from here, what you do, excuse me, you have two choices. You can cut and discard a half, which is going to be the bottom half because that's the one that's not lit up, or you can slice and keep both. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slice and keep both. On the minimum, on the fill type, I just put minimum fill and I adjust everything in my slicing program, so you don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to go and accept that. Now, even though you've cut it right here and you have two separate pieces, if you click on it right now, nothing's going to happen. You need to go back to Edit. You need to go to Separate Shells. Okay. Now, a little bar pops up on your right hand side. This is shell 1 and shell 2. If you notice right now nothing happens, that's because I think it's just my view. But let's go ahead and show you guys. If I do that, notice how the whole thing didn't change, because this is shell 1 and that's shell 2. You see that, how that one got lit up, different color? Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to save these. So what you do is you click on either the top or bottom. I'm going to click on the bottom first. I'm going to hit export. I'm going to save this as 2 because I've already saved the original as 1. Make sure you have STL file format selected and you hit save. And I'm going to click on the top. And again, I'm going to export. Make this one number 3. My STL file is picked. And I'm going to hit save. So from here, I'm going to go into Cura. Okay. Open the file. Go to desktop. I'm going to pick number 1 just to show you guys the original. Alright, so there is the original file. Notice the size, length, width of it. I'll go ahead and delete this. Then I'm going to go back to desktop. Here's number 2, and look what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, there is just the bottom half of Wreck-It Ralph. So what this does right here is it prints the bottom half, and then you can go back in and pick option 3, because that was our last one. So if you notice, it's in 2 separate pieces. If your printer's Z-axis levels out right here, you can print both together, or you can print one at a time, however you want to do it. Okay? And this is exactly a perfect straight cut. So when you print the 2 pieces, you can just stick them on top of each other and glue it together. So this is kind of a cool feature on this one, which I really liked. I thought it was kind of cool to have that. Another thing I will show you is, instead of using this plane, if you don't want to use the plane, let's go and cancel that. Let's say if this is one whole piece, you would just go to Pivot Cut again, and this time you can actually draw a line if you want. So this time it'll follow the line. So let's take a shader here so you can see it because my shit's all fucked up. But that will be shell 1 and that will be shell 2. Once I do that and hit accept, well, this one actually cut it so you can get a better view on it. But there it is, and there's shell 2 down here because I cut the rest of it out. So you got this piece and that piece. So the whole top part is 1, and just that little corner part is 2. So you can use that line as well if you want, and that will fix your problems as well as far as trying to split it. And again, you just go to keep both or just keep one, accept, and go ahead and export that out, and that will solve your problem. Okay, moving on. There's one more thing to show you. Alright guys, the last thing I'm going to show you today is how to combine two files together. So let me go ahead and go over that. Let's go ahead and use the bunny. It's been working good so far. And then I'll go to import, not replace, but amend. And I'll go with the horns. Okay, so if you notice, it's two separate pieces in our object browser. It's two separate pieces, right? So all I'm going to do is click on the helmet. Again, go to edit, transform, and move this bad boy up, over. Take a look. Let me scale this down a little bit. All right. So go forward. Well, it's higher than I thought. Okay. Still a little too big. But before I do the final adjustment, go ahead and, oops, wrong one. Let's go ahead and rotate it a little bit. Get that line right in the center. There we go. Alright, make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to bring it down. Notice it goes into the original. Okay, so now, still have two pieces. If I click here, well, let me hit accept first, guys. You got to make sure you hit that accept button. If you don't, it's not going to save it. If I go to see how the helmet is one piece, if I click here and go to transform to move it, okay, click on the body, transform, and now I can move the body. So they're technically still two separate pieces at this point. So what you want to do is you want to go to edit, and actually, no, I am wrong. You want to click on the body of the rabbit. Notice down here when I click on the helmet, it's the bottom one. Click here, it's the top one. So you want to click on the body of the rabbit, hold down your shift key, and hit the top. And notice what happens here on the left side. The screen changes. So I'll go and do that again. So this is the screen right there. When I click on it, it's two separate things. So you click on the bottom part or the top part, hold down shift. When you click on the second piece, it brings this up. So what you want to do here is the Boolean union. And what that does is right now you notice how they're two separate pieces. I'm going to go and hit accept. And look what happened down here. It put them together as one. So if I go to transform now, give me a second. Oh, sorry, one more step. Oh, sometimes I forget so much. Okay, so we're gonna go to edit and we're gonna make solid. So you want to first do the Boolean union, and you do that by clicking on one piece, hold down the shift button, click on the other piece. Okay, and then after that you want to go into edit and make solid right there. Now if I click on it and hit transform, look what happens. One piece, no separate helmet, no nothing, just straight one piece. Now so that's basically it. That's how you merge the two pieces together. If you had a third piece, you would do it the same way. If you had a fourth piece, you would do it the same way. One thing I will show you real quick, if you go to select and you go to brush here, you can actually paint for whatever reason. Clear selection. So select, you can actually paint or brush, sorry, the body and the helmet to different colors. You can adjust the brush size here, so as you get really close you can get more detailed, but if you're just doing the body itself, then you can just go big like so. Another cool thing is if you go to sorry, where is it at? Oops, select, and if you go off the mesh itself and draw a line, let's say I just want to do this part, watch what happens when I let go. It colors everything on the outside of it, so all this is going to be one color, which we don't want. Okay, and you can also, so let's say I color this one piece and I want the helmet to be a different piece. Turn it around. Yeah, don't forget the back. I almost did. Alright. So there you go. Not too great, but the rabbit is one color and the horn, helmet horn, is another color. You go to select and you can brush out whatever you want, or click outside and we're going to go and select the head part. So why did we do that? Okay, if you go to edit and erase and fill, it will actually delete the head for you very smoothly. Now why would you need to do that? Let's say if you just want to mess around, put a head of a turtle on there or whatever it is, you can mismatch. Now you can do that with the feet, you can do that with the tail. Now keep in mind this is a bunny, but if you have an actual human figure in front of you, you can take the arms off and put a different creature's arms or the head, and maybe put like a Darth Vader mask on it. So you can combine multiple 3D images into one by doing that. And I'm going to go over that with you guys later. But that's basically it on this one, guys. I just wanted to show you how to combine two things, or three or four, into one for now. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, again, throw me a comment at the bottom, throw me a like if you want, subscribe if you want. It does help my video get out there to more people. So if you think I do a good job, go ahead and do that. If you don't want to do that, hey, it's up to you, you know, whatever floats your boat. But that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll get another video out in the next couple of days. Thank you so much. By the way, there will be a part 2 to this.
If you like this video, give us a like and subscribe to our channel.